Tank, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And just for TikTok purposes, can we get your age, please?
I am 42.
42. Perfect. Thank you so much, Tank. And of course, our question of the night: do you think trans women are women? Do you think trans men are men?
No, but are I believe that I have learned that trans women are trans women.
Yeah, yeah, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong
Okay.
there. And I want you to know you're definitely not wrong there. One thing that I will tell you, and I speak on behalf of me and in my transition, I know that I'm a trans woman, right? And that's why I will always put that indicator in front to tell people that I am a trans woman.
Yeah.
Right? I know that. I know I'm not a biological woman. I know that I can never be a biological woman. And I know that. I know that I medically transitioned.
Right.
So I'm not trying to replace biological women by any means. For me personally, I'm just trying to live in this world, right? I'm just trying to live, be authentically me, and that's all. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to replace anybody. And that's why I will straight up tell you that I am a trans woman.
Yeah, I can appreciate that, and that's kind of a compromise that I think my side should possibly accept. And
Sure.
then I just ask you. I think I maybe. Anyways, um, what do you feel about pushing anything under the age of 18?
So this is what I will say to that. So for me personally, right, I didn't transition until I was in my 20s. Right,
Hmm.
I didn't transition until I was in my 20s, and for me, I knew when I was younger, when I was growing up as a kid, I knew that I wasn't a boy, but I didn't know what that was. Right, I didn't know because I was a kid. Right, I'm just living my life as a kid, and I don't know anything. So I waited until I was into my 20s, and when I got to my 20s, that's when I started to start that process of like, well, what does this mean? I know I'm not a boy. What does this mean? And that's when I started therapy, and then I started my medical transition. So me personally,
Yeah.
I waited until I was in my 20s,
Do
right?
you?
Because
Yeah.
again,
Mm,
we're not developed yet, right? So I
right.
just wanted to make sure, because
So
to me now in my late 30s, I know that I'm a trans woman.
right. And that worked out successfully for you. You think
Yeah, yeah,
waiting until you were, I would just say 18, waiting until 18 on that day, that worked out just fine. Um,
100%. Yeah,
so it can work out just fine for most humans then, I would
yeah.
fathom. Like all
I would not
humans.
disagree with that.
I
Yeah, I
think
would
that
not
the
disagree.
science might be settled. Okay, I think I think we might agree on quite a lot of this then, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and see,
Because
that's why I like to
usually
hold this live.
yeah, usually when I try to have these conversations, people just
Thanks for
they
the
either
follows.
scream at me or,
Sure.
then I'm everything under the sun,
Yeah,
and then they like to just dump my call, and then they like to ban me, so we can't even
yeah.
converse, which just seems really, really weird because I come in the same attitude. I don't think that my vocal tone right now is aggressive, and if it is, it's just, well,
No,
this is
not at
how I
all.
am. Well, this is just yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, they seem really fragile and um, yeah. But I learned by listening to this one guy on a walk. I was on a walk and I listened to, or I just say guy as everybody, he was a trans woman and
100%.
he's really educated about it, really educated. Like he knew the stuff that you're not supposed to know or talk about, which I
Sure.
appreciated. And he said basically the same thing. I waited till I was an adult. I have zero
Yeah.
regrets. Well, duh. I have zero regrets because I waited till I was mature enough to handle the decision.
Sure.
And then that's when it hit me. He said, "I'm a trans woman." He didn't want to be a woman. They kind of just
Yeah.
go after all that BS, which isn't really helping that side of the aisle or whatever you want to call it. So,
No, listen, I
um,
don't disagree with you. So I
yeah,
think once you get on the debate side of TikTok, especially on this topic, you kind of get pushed on your FYP, all of the debate side, right?
yeah,
So I'll go into lives like when I'm not live or when I get off live, I go into other lives, and it could be from the opposing side, it could be on the same side as me. And I'll go in and I'll listen and I'll watch. And one of the things I will tell you, even when it's from the side of the agreements with me, right? I go in there and there will be some things that they do and say that I don't agree with, right? I don't agree with cutting people off. I agree with that. You should let someone talk and give their view, their opinions, and their stats, right? I think that's important because, of course, it's called a conversation. Yeah, it could be a debate, but it's still a conversation, and it can show people that we as humans can talk, and we don't have to be hateful. We don't have to mute people. We don't have to drop people. Like it's we are individuals. We have our own opinions and thoughts, and that's okay. So I've seen it, and I've spoke up. I always say, if you see something, hear something, say something, and I'll speak up because again, you're a human. I'm a human, and
Right.
we can have a conversation.
Yeah,
So
conversation is
yeah,
what is my conclusion from a lot of these too. They don't want to have a conversation, and I only learn
right.
from conversations. So I appreciate the way that you might be handling it. This is the first time I listened
Yeah.
to you, uh,
Thank
but
you.
yeah, I think that this is the mature way, the best way to handle this situation, and to get a greater acceptance of the
Yeah.
reality of it. Right,
Sure.
right. Because I mean, if you whatever your situation is, you believe it, it's real, right? It's real, it's physical, it's real.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have to humanize it and obviously allow it, but just keep it with adults. That's like my big thing with this whole thing. Just let the adults handle it. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And again, like kind of like we were saying with youth, like, okay, if you feel a specific way, just wait until you hit a specific age before you medically transition, right? That's what you're saying?
yeah, basically, yeah. And
Yeah,
then I think it's broadly accepted across the country if you just did that.
sure.
Like, I think the country is
Yeah,
frustrated and angry with doing anything to minors. They just really are,
sure.
and it's for
Sure.
obviously understandable reasons. It's just weird that, yeah, I don't really get it what the push was here.
Yeah,
But what happens with that is the fog of war, where I don't get to talk to people like you ever.
sure.
Thank God for this
Yeah,
technology. TikTok. I've only been on TikTok for a couple weeks, and this technology is amazing. What I can do is just call and talk to people.
yeah.
But I couldn't do
I
that
agree.
before. I couldn't do that on Facebook. I couldn't do that in comments. It would just, and I'm really good at debate. I'm really good at keeping the focus on. But anyways, they would try to everything you said. They would distract you and just try to spread
Sure.
hate, and would just be yelling at each other at the end of the day, or people
Yeah,
get sucked into that. And
yeah,
you're not having a conversation, which means you're not learning, which means you're not
no,
two humans. You're just two freaking idiots behind your phone with your thumbs at home when you should be spending time with your kids, or you should be talking to each other on the phone, but you're not
yeah,
because you hate each other. So again, I appreciate your take on this. I've learned a
yeah.
lot just from you and this other whatever gentleman. I sorry, ma'am. I don't this other
No, no, yeah.
TikToker.
I know us.
I
Yeah,
don't want to
I know
offend
us a gentleman.
if he
No, no,
yeah
it's okay.
he had a
Yeah,
beard and everything, so I guess I'll call him a gentleman because he was acting like a
yeah.
gentleman and you're acting like a ma'am to me, so that's a more
Thank you.
professional. But he was a
Yeah,
gentleman. I mean, he had a full beard. It was crazy. Like, wow,
yeah,
that's cool. And he was right. Like, dude had a
yeah.
better beard
Perception
than
is everything, right?
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
perception.
again, you can go in then every bathroom you want, and nobody's gonna freaking care or know, right? Like,
Yes. Yeah.
duh.
And
And
I'll tell you, Tank,
stupid.
it took me 4 years into my medical transition before I entered in a female space. It
Really?
4 years, and that's
Yeah.
HRT and of course medical procedures before I entered
Yeah.
that space. And again, that was out of respect for biologic women, and it was out of respect for myself, right? And I
Right.
do feel that we as trans people, and I'll educate other trans people that we should wait until we're at that point in our transition to enter those spaces because, like you said, then it won't be a problem.
Yeah,
I
it's
saw a
just a
person.
yeah. Like, sorry, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to cut you. It's just it's
No, it's
duh.
okay.
It's like you look like a woman, you're a woman. Like nobody's like
Yeah,
really checking. It's not like we have bathroom police. I think the whole thing is silly. But the
exactly.
overall argument and the stupidity is we had an incident, here, and these things fly around, whatever. But it's
Yeah.
just a man. It's just a boy or like an 18, 19 year
Thank
old
you, Bree.
male that just goes into like a teenage like shower. And they don't happen that often, but we had an incident here locally and it freaked people out. It was a little silly. But it's not like the guy
Sure.
was really trying to hide who he was.
Yeah.
Duh.
Me and I normally have a co-host up here with me.
All right.
She's my partner in crime. She's a biological woman, and we had went into
Yeah.
this one live that we came across, and the person on the live was presenting as male, and on their screen it said, "I'm a trans woman. Ask me questions." So of course it piqued our interest to where we entered the live.
Right.
And we were watching the live, and again, the person's at the early stage of their transition to where they haven't even started therapy, taken hormones, let alone medical transitioning, right? So we had went in there, and as a trans woman myself, I said, hey, like, my advice is, please, like, this is hurting the trans community. My advice is to hold off
Right.
from putting that up as your banner, from speaking on trans related issues when you have not gotten started on your transition. Like, again, coming online and being like, oh, I'm a trans woman, ask me questions, and then that person was also throwing indicators in their own home. I'm going to go use the girls bathroom. Like, you're in your own home, you're rage baiting at this point, right? So I
Right.
understand why people get heated and angry, and I
Yeah.
ask people people in my community, don't enter these spaces, don't do these online lives when you're not at that point of your transition, because it's hurting the community. And believe me, we all have started in a transition at the beginning. So I'm not negating them whatsoever. I'm just saying when we're publicly doing things like Lily Tino, it's hurting the community. And this is what people's perception on the community is.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Very good take. Definitely seen it.
Yeah.
Or I definitely appreciate that. Um, it definitely helps it. I, I don't know. I was questioning this one person that was on their journey of transition. She had started
Sure.
her mom started her at 9 years old, like grooming her
Mm.
into this. And she's 23 now. And you know, I could just almost feel it. Like it might be one of these regret cases. Do you feel, and I don't know for, you know, for sure, but do you feel that going so extreme at 9 and by 10 or 11 starting HRTs and, you know, doing injections and then putting this thing in your arm, apparently she has one of these now, or I couldn't tell which one this one is, but
Okay.
do you think that there's, you know, a damage of doing that so young where you're going to see an explosion of regret statistics coming in the next whatever 5 years?
You know, so again, I always talk off my experience, right? And
Yeah.
so for me, where I am, I would have liked to had transitioned when I was younger. You know, knowing what I know today, I would have liked to have transitioned when I was younger, because then I would have been able to take puberty blockers. And then, you know, in that medical transition journey, it would have been less for me, of course, in that journey. But again, based off of my experience, when I was under that age 18, I knew I wasn't a boy, but I didn't know what I was. So again, I went with it personally, and I guess case by case is what I would really say. Because for me, I didn't know, so I waited until I was in my 20s, and then I started seeking therapy, and I started that transition because I just didn't know, right? But if I look back today, of course, I'm going to say, yeah, I wish I would have been able to start as a kid, because then I would have been able to do puberty blockers, and my
Okay.
medical transition wouldn't have been as intense. So it's kind of like a double sword for me, just
Yeah.
because if I knew what I knew today, but I wouldn't have, right? I would have never known that.
No, no, I understand that. I
Yeah,
definitely understand. But you know, the other side, I don't, it's not a debate, but you obviously understand the other side too.
I do.
Um,
Yeah, I do.
yeah. So that's an interesting take. Um,
Yeah.
it was sad. It's just really hard to hear when, you know, mama's a nurse and whatever, and
Sure.
starts just pushing it at 9 years old. I have an 8 year old. My oldest is 8. It's just like, holy cow, you know, wow. It just
Yeah.
seems very young and very
Yeah.
obtuse and like, wow, like that's what your focus is. Well, you know,
Right.
just a
You
different
know,
take
I
of
think
life.
that comes to a conversation with the parents, and then that comes to a conversation with the parents with the medical professional,
Yeah.
right? To have those conversations with them first. And I don't know a lot about youth transitioning. I've never really, I'll be honest with you, I've never really looked into it, because again, I of course
Yeah.
transitioned in my 20s, and I don't have children. And then of course I do have nieces and nephews, in which like people say, like, you know, like, oh, you push ideologies on them, and I don't. Like my nieces and nephews were just my nieces and nephews, right?
Right.
Like
Right.
to them, I was their aunt. That's all they knew. There was no talk until they were adults. Like there was no talk about anything. I
Hmm.
was just their aunt, right? That's
Right.
all they knew. So I didn't push anything on them. And again, that's why I think it be could be case by case with different people on how they react and educate and what they do. But yeah, so that's a blind spot there, I think, for different people.
Yeah. Well, I think your take on this is definitely the most. Well, I had a word for you. Successful, but not like
Sure,
it's the best positive way to go about it. I had a better
sure,
word and I
yeah.
lost it. I'm sorry, but yeah.
No, it's okay.
Um,
No, this has been a great conversation. I really do appreciate you coming up here. I appreciate the conversation. At least for once, you could say you went into a trans woman's life and you left, and you had a good experience, right? You
yeah,
had a good experience.
yeah. This is now number two. No,
Oh,
she was a
even
trans
better.
man. Sorry, she was a trans man. So
Yeah,
I've hit both sides, I guess.
perfect. I
Yeah,
love that.
she had a
So you had a good
beard. Well, yeah,
experience
he
with
had
the
a
trans
beard. So
man.
what's that?
Yeah. So you had a good experience with the trans man, and you had a good
Yeah, he
experience with the trans woman.
yeah. I mean, that guy was awesome. And you've been awesome, of course.
Yeah,
There's a word like it's just more accepted. Like this is the way we should communicate, right?
I agree.
And
Yeah, I
there
agree.
just God, there's just this aggressive end to it, and it comes from all sides. I'm not saying just the trans community, but
Hmm.
man, like. it's just so aggressive and just crazy. Like, you must do this. It's like, wow. There's like
Yeah.
this whole thing called logic, reality, and reason that a lot of people live by. And
Thank
you're
you,
not going to
Daniel.
win. You're not going to win that over by just yelling. It's not the greatest way to communicate.
You know, I also think too, because we're on TikTok, of course, people feel with yelling and screaming, it brings in more views and a bigger
Mm,
platform. So versus focusing on what's actually needed, which is education and conversation, I
right.
think more people are focused on making money and building a
They're
building a
just,
platform.
yeah.
I started off in this guy's live, and he was a heterosexual white male, and he holds debates, and I went in there, and that's how I started on this journey of debate sides on this side, because he was just he really didn't care about the actual topic itself. What he cared about was making money off the topic, right? He would make you send a big gift in order to get into the box. And
Uh-huh.
then when he had people in the boxes, he would tell people, hey, send the gifts, help support the live. So everything was money based for him. So even though he was coming from the opposing side and trying to pull the strings to the opposing people to like, oh, this is a mental illness, this and that, really all he wanted was that money, right? He doesn't really care about the
Yeah, he's
actual
just grifting.
topic,
He's just
and
grifting,
that
grifting
frustrates
off the
me. Yeah,
topic. Yeah.
yeah, it's frustrating because
Um,
again,
hmm,
like I'm passionate about it. I'm a trans woman, so I'm going to be passionate. It's not
right.
about the money.
Yeah.
It's about the education.
Yeah.
Thank you,
That
Suzanne.
that's what I appreciate here the most. Because I think when we
Yeah,
all just start talking like normal people, you can really just get past these stupid things that divide us.
yeah,
But we could be a much more successful society if we got over the dumb things like
yeah,
who cares what anybody sleeps with. But yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
Perfect. Well, Tink, I appreciate you coming out here so much, and thank you for the good conversation. And I hope you have a really good night.
you as well. Have a great night.
Thanks, Tink.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye bye. Conversation. I absolutely love conversations like that. Again, we could be opposing sides, we can have different viewpoints, but we can actually talk and have a conversation, respect each other. That's what I absolutely love about this.
Just horrible behavior towards one another amongst trans people on TikTok. Gaslighting, name calling, horrible slurs that I would never ever use for anybody are just like thrown around between trans people on live. Many of lives with gender criticals and TERF and radfems who have said the absolute most horrific things about me that are completely unprovoked. Like, there's no reason to do that. I do not come up and I do not name call. I do not attack. I do not, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I do.
my whole point is to have the conversation because I think the conversation is the most important part of it. But then, of course, you know, I get called a PDF file and all kinds of other things simply because.
I'm awake. Hello, how old are you?
Hi, I'm real. I'm not sleeping. I'm 42.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
what number did you have opposition on?
Number 3. Do you actually believe that? Is that one of your, I don't know,
No,
hills
I
you're
don't
gonna die
believe
on?
it. Well, it's already being done in 9 different states. Why do you keep coming back to my life?
Have I been here before?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
all right.
being done in 9 different states. Inclusive curriculum actually increases grade point averages, it increases graduation rates, it decreases bullying by 40%. It's amazing.
So I've had a lot of conversations with like elder trans community members, and they don't subscribe to any of this under 18 at all.
Oh, how many how many elders did you talk to? Let me just write this down.
Like really good ones, one on each side, a male and well, a trans man and a trans woman.
Oh, you talked to 2 people in
No,
the
no,
in
more.
the world.
No. But 2 of them
How
were
many
the
people
best,
total?
the best at it.
The best of the
Oh,
best.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I've only been at this for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Probably 5.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, a dozen. A dozen that were
Oh,
respectful, and I had
talked
conversations
to,
with.
you talked to 12 people, and you think that they
No,
are
no.
like we're a monolith, and we
Well,
all
I've
think the
talked to
same thing.
thousands of people about this.
Oh, thousands of millions.
It's
No,
getting larger.
thousands.
The number's getting larger.
No, but I've had respectful conversations with about 12.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And then 2 were really the best. And they were here on TikTok, amazingly, which was cool to see.
Yeah, what's their level of education?
Oh, like collegiate? No, they were like professional transitioner people.
Yeah, professional transition.
What's
Yeah.
their names?
Um, You know what?
Names. Name drop.
I don't
Drop
really
Let's do
look
it.
at their names. I mean,
Oh
You
yeah.
look them right in the eye. Okay, cool.
no, it was on
Professional
TikTok Live.
trans-
I could
professional
look
trans
back.
people, y'all.
I guess I could look back at their screen names, but
You know what?
God
I'm
of
gonna
Logic
delete my-
doesn't really mean that's
I'm
a
gonna delete
name.
my account because I didn't know that you talked to two professional
Yeah.
trans people. Like
Two
I'm gonna
professional
delete that
transformers. Yeah.
topic. Yeah, so now you're
Oh.
being disrespectful to trans people and being a transphobic piece of shit like you normally are on
No,
this
a
panel.
lot. Some of them like being that term that makes them. I mean, it's a
No,
tough
they
term.
don't.
Well, they freak out by about
No.
everything. So, I haven't
Yeah.
found the
Like you
right term
guys?
yet because either I say this one thing or another,
Kind
and
of like you, like cis-het white headies get upset about everything.
no, I don't
Start
get upset.
QPing
I don't.
people?
No, I don't get
I
upset
mean, that's
about
kind
a
of like your
bunch.
whole thing. Is
What's
like,
that?
Is like getting mad and starting harming people, whether it be in churches or gas stations or your own houses. That's like your whole
I don't
thing.
think we met,
So,
sir,
like-
but that sounds pretty crazy if you think that
No,
I have
but,
done any
I mean,
of that.
anybody with like access to like the internet,
Oh.
you can see like what y'all do to schools and stuff.
What you all do? What do you like? All
Yeah.
me?
One more galaxy to boot the guest.
I mean,
So
like I said it. So
yeah, so here's the thing. So just because you talk to like appeal to authority is fucking weird. It's a fallacy. Just because you talk to a professional trans person
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean anything. W booting you because you're fucking annoying. Don't come back. Okay.
Fascist.
Ever you because you're fucking annoying. Don't come back. Okay.
I'm
Fascist.
a wastebasket for you.
Ever. Why are you talking to yourself like that? Looking in the mirror. Calling me a fascist is hilarious.
W Joe. Ooh, can we have like a theme song for when they get booted? Like
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks.
Was
I
it
can
a
do
B
it.
flat?
I can do it in a different key too. Yeah, just in case.
Or if they're like crashing out, you can like elongate the theme. Like, add
Passion, right?
instrumentation into it. Yeah.
Okay, wait, hold on.
And here they're like, oh, well, you guys are just so mad and you don't do anything cool and like you guys are just so angry. And, like, I don't even, like, what's a library? I haven't seen
What's a
it in
library?
years.
Was that an
D-
intro?
DUI. Yeah, you have your own intro. DUI. Echo was so bad. Why don't you respect consent?
I just thought we could have a conversation.
No, I'm
isn't
just
that what
curious
you're
why
here
you don't
for?
respect I don't know why you don't respect consent.
Consents.
Consent.
Consent.
Yeah.
How do I not respect consent?
Well, I said don't come back here.
Well, why'd you accept me? You're
Well,
the guy.
I'm just curious why you're not respecting someone's consent.
Oh, well, you're the one who approved my request here. So the consent was mutual.
I'm questioning.
But I thought we could
why
have a
you're- Why
conversation.
you're back?
Because I feel like you want to
Well,
have a conversation.
Your conversations are disingenuous. Hi, Mel. They're disingenuous in bad faith. So I don't like having conversations with you because you're just stupid.
Well,
a
you're
stupid
asking.
person.
You're asking for another opinion with your little prompt, are you not?
Yeah, but I want to talk to like smart intellectual people.
No, I think you want to talk to dumb ones.
And that's why you requested up.
No, because I'm a smart
I
one.
watched House Committee
Blocked.
floor hearings with Marjorie Taylor Greene daggone slamming the hammer.